Arkansas Nuclear 1 Power Plant Temporary Overhead Crane Collapse by Jacob Reynolds. The name of the project being undertaken during the incident was Arkansas Nuclear 1 Unit 1 Turbine Stator Replacement. The project was owned by Entergy Arkansas Incorporated and was located in London/Russellville, Arkansas. Entergy planned to change out the old turbine stator located in the turbine building of the nuclear power plant with a new stator. As the turbine stator weighed over 1,000,000 pounds, it required considerable planning. A temporary overhead crane had to be erected to move the stator from its location to the train bay for hauling it away, and to then bring in the new stator. March 31st, 2013, a temporary crane being used for the lifting of the new turbine stator failed. The failure resulted in the death of one worker and the injury of 8 others. Many factors were at play, beginning with the design/engineering phase and ending with the ultimate collapse of the crane. It took 3 attempts to even rig the stator for lifting. Prior to the lift, however, 2 lateral braces which served to reinforce the intermediate header component of the crane were removed, a major instance of neglect of the potential for failure. Most of the guardrails that were previously in place in the turbine building had been removed so as to not obstruct the path of the lift. Once lifting was underway, workers were called up to remove several remaining guardrails despite the inherent danger of doing so. When the workers finished removing the remaining rails, it was at this point that the crane collapsed on top of them. The official OSHA investigation of the tragedy yielded that the most critical cause of the failure was the flaw in the structural design of the temporary crane. The lateral braces that had been in place to reinforce the intermediate header component of the crane were not included in the original engineering drawings, hence their removal. OSHA determined that had these braces been left in place, or at least originally included in the design of the temporary crane, the incident could have been avoided. Previously stated, many factors were at play leading up to and resulting in the end incident. Essentially, the most decisive of these factors was human error and complacency. No load testing of the crane was ever conducted prior to its use, which is a violation of OSHA Standard 1926.1438b. No involved parties were ignorant to this violation. The owner's material handling program called for non-destructive tests of welds prior to and after the load test. The welds were also never tested. The owner, engineer, and subcontractors had multiple opportunities to review and question the structural design, but did not do so. Workers not directly involved in the lift were permitted to stay in close proximity of the load and the crane, violating OSHA Standard 1926.1425. Based on these factors, the resulting loss of life is outright insulting to the very concepts of safety and basic concern for workers' well-being. It should be obvious and immediately apparent to any business entity in the construction industry, it cannot be overstated how important the aspects of planning and design review are in mitigating failures such as this one. As far as my role in preventing such a future catastrophic failure, I will always ensure that any and all design and engineering drawings, as well as any other documents critical to safety, are thoroughly reviewed by all parties involved. With respect to OSHA standards, I will always review whichever among them apply to the scope of work being planned or undertaken. This is crucial, as to fail in doing so can result in nothing other than not complying with such standards, be it either partially or fully. Finally, with respect to working for a general contractor, I will take it to heart that I know and am fully familiar with all of my company's unique safety policies and procedures, be them lift plans, material handling plans, confined space plans, etc. In doing this, I will be that much more able to ensure that all workers involved in the construction process, from the laborers to the engineers, are able to understand, observe, implement, and verify they are within all safety standards and policies before conducting any potentially dangerous work.